In this video, I want to talk to you about WordPress widgets. A widget is simply a bit of code that allows us to easily add content to our WordPress site's sidebar and footer. Now, some themes will only allow for sidebar insertions and not the footer without some heavy-duty code editing. But most newer themes do allow for both footer and sidebar widgets. Now, depending upon the widget itself, this content that it allows can be just about anything from videos, audio, advertisements, and a whole lot more. Let's go ahead and log into our WordPress dashboard and take a look. Come on down to the Appearance panel, and in the sub-panel, once you've expanded this, called Widgets, go ahead and left-click on that to expose our Widgets area. And this is basically broken down into three different areas. The available widgets, below that we have the inactive widgets, and over on the right we have the widget area itself. Now, with the available widgets, once you bring in to your widget area one of the available widgets and you make some adjustments, or you add a title, or basically adjust the settings for that widget, but you find later on that you want to keep those settings as is, you just don't want that particular widget in your site right now, well, if you drag it back over to the available widgets, it will remove or delete or deactivate all of those settings. If you want to keep those settings intact, you drag it down and drop it off in the inactive widgets. So let's go ahead and adjust things, but first let's show you what I'm talking about as far as the sidebar. Now, in the 2010 theme, we have this one sidebar over here on the right. Some themes have a sidebar on the right and on the left, and the content area is left here in the center. So some themes, again this being theme specific, will have only one widget area. The 2010 theme that we're working with here has a total of 6 different widget areas. 2 in the right sidebar, we've got a primary and a secondary, and 4 in the footer. Currently, none of the footer widget areas have anything in them, so they're blank and it's not showing anything that looks like a widget. So here we have these particular widgets that are active and have content. Now let's make some adjustments here and I'll show you what that looks like. This is the primary widget area that I just showed you. This is the secondary widget area, which is empty right now. Let's go ahead and open up these guys here and drop some widgets in here to show you what it looks like. Now the RSS, let's just drag this over, say, to the third footer widget area. And by the way, the first footer widget area goes to the far left, the fourth footer widget area is on the far right, then the second and third are kind of in the middle. Now with this particular widget, and it's widget specific, but some have very little settings to worry about. Some requires, for this to work, you have to enter an RSS feed from some site. Doesn't have to be this one, can be from any site. And give the feed a title. You don't have to, but you can. Now then you can display whatever you want depending upon the options available. Whatever choices you make, then you just click on save. Now I'm not going to put in an actual feed URL here, just a title to show you what it looks like on the widget area. Click on save. And by the way, once you pull a widget into one of the widget areas, you don't have to save anything to make that widget active. The only time you're saving anything is if you adjust the settings. And of course you can close it, or you don't have to, because it will close on its own once you refresh the page here. So let's put something else. Let's move these widgets around from up top here. Let's go and bring this guy down to the first footer, the meta down to the second footer, archives down to the fourth, and let's bring something into the secondary. Let's not leave that one blank. And the secondary widget, let's throw the calendar in here. Whoopsie. There you go. Let's give it a title. Click on save. And now let's see how things look after we refresh our page. Now you can see the primary contains these two guys. The secondary, there's no defining line between the primary and the secondary, so that's pretty cool. And then down here at the footer, you can now see what it looks like. But that's a quick look at the widgets. Now, one other thing too I wanted to mention is that you can add to the available widgets here by the use of specialized plugins. And to demonstrate that, I want to head on over to our plugins area. And there's a plugin that we went through with our audio player. Well, there's another plugin that kind of goes hand in hand with that. It's called the audio player widget. Now, what this does, in effect, it takes this audio player and allows it to be inserted into the sidebar. Pretty cool stuff. And this comes in pretty handy too if you have the ability to adjust the width of your audio player. And if you recall in a prior video where we were customizing the players and we took it from the default 290 pixels wide, which is usually a lot wider than most typical sidebar areas are, but we took it down to 170. Now if we come on back here just to make sure that that's still intact under the display area, yes. Let's go ahead, and that should be plenty. I'll tell you what, let's take it down to 120 just to be on the safe side. Let's come on over here, and under the plugins, if you recall, you just go to the Add New, do a search for Audio Player Widget, and I believe there's only one in there. Install it, activate it, and then whenever we come into the Widgets area, you will see this as an available plugin now, or an available widget rather. Then you just simply drag and drop this guy in to whatever widget area you want. I'm going to use the primary, and you just give it a title. Maybe you wanted to introduce yourself or welcome the visitors to your site with this particular audio clip. And wherever you have that audio clip stashed, that's the URL you want to put in here. I'm going to leave this alone. It's just going to be a bogus URL, so it's not going to be a functioning player, but it'll at least ways show up. Click on Save, Close, come on back to our site, refresh. Now you can see the players right there. Pretty cool, huh? And that's a quick rundown on your widget area for your WordPress site. Thank you very much for watching, and you have a great day.